Shoot, that's a good team. They're really good. We didn't come out ready to play. They punched us in the mouth out of the gate. We got to figure our starts out. We have not had good starts here for a long time. Ryland was really good off the bench. We needed him. You know, it's kind of like we needed a big burst. He came in, gave us a big punch. I mean, kind of exactly what we wanted. I thought Charlie was pretty good as a starter. You know, we're trying to get some guys to take care of the ball, have a couple more ball handlers out there as a starter. So we still had too many turnovers tonight. But I thought we showed some toughness that we had lacked up in Tennessee. You know, showed some fight, got down right out of the gate, showed some grit, fought through a little bit of adversity. Then we didn't have a good start to the second half again. And, got some guys in off the bench and turned it around again in the second half and started pulling out. And then they didn't go away. I mean, that's a tough team that's going to compete. And, they're still in first place in our league. So big win we needed, but we got to get better at a lot of things here.
Yeah, two, if I can. First off, when the light issue, I mean, what was the explanation there? What was that like to be part of that? And then also for you guys to see the compete that you saw today that you've been asking for, what do you want channeled most from that going forward?
They just said, and we got all the new lights in there. I guess they I don't know, it's never happened. They didn't flip over from the red to the regular lights, and we were trying to figure out if we could play in the dark, and that we had to make sure that both ends had the same lighting, or it wouldn't have been, fair. So we were trying to figure all that out and keep the guys warm. That was odd. I've never been involved with something like that. And then the competing part, I mean, you see a guy like Wrights will have 9 rebounds. A guy like Ryland Griffin came up big. I mean, he ends up being a plus 19 in the plus minus. Man, I 7 rebounds for him. Grant had his first double-double. Thought Jaron Stevenson really grew up these last 2 games. I thought he was one bright spot in Tennessee too, to be honest with you. But he guarded in there pretty well. I thought he was big. It's not like he scored a bunch of points or anything, but he's plus 12 when he's in the game. He played 22 minutes, and so we had some guys really step up, compete. Some other guys that didn't play well. I thought we've been talking a lot about Mudita after Coach Murphy talked to the team, and thought they were genuinely happy for the guys that were playing well and we're going to need some of those guys to play better on Saturday and continuing in order to win the SEC like we're trying to do.
Coach, what does it say about your team getting kind of hit in the mouth this weekend and then bouncing back, top team in the SEC comes in and you guys do that against your biggest rival?
Yeah, I think it shows we do have some fight. We do have some guys that have some competitive juices to them. Look at a guy like Ryland and Sears, and I think we got some guys that don't want to lay down and just take L's. So, I told them our responses to some losses last year were 60 and 50-point wins. We weren't going to get a 60 or 50-point win over number 6 team in the country, but we were going to need an effort like we got after some losses last year to get a win period this year. And it was basically a 1-possession game down to the wire. So it took a monumental effort, and we were a lot tougher than we were against Tennessee. And look, I should have said at the beginning, I said it on Postgame radio, but the crowd was unbelievable. We needed the crowd tonight. They showed up in a big way. The noise levels got big. I think our guys play off, the crowd. We need the crowd to show up on Saturday. We need every home game in the SEC to look like that if we're going to try to win this thing, and we're tied for first place right now, so we're going after it again.
You talked a little bit about the Mudita. We had Ryland come in here, and he said that if it goes like this every game, that he would like to be off the bench and have Lajarell start. What does that mean, and what does that show about a guy like that?
Look, it shows he's all about the team and whatever he needs to do to help the team win. So, and I've had players shoot up at Buffalo. Nick Perkins was 3-time MAC 6th man of the year. He's arguably our best player, came off the bench. Some guys get a comfort level. Look, some of these guys want to be pros. They're going to have to come off the bench as a pro. So it's not the worst to figure it out. Quinterly was great off the bench. Matter of fact, Ryland, I think, talked to JQ about how it is to play off the bench, either earlier today or yesterday. So I think Ryland had the right attitude. Just come in, be ready to go. I talked to Ryland's dad yesterday about, just kind of explaining to him, and he's good with it. He's great. But I said I anticipate him having an unbelievable game. I thought he had our best practice. I kind of moved him with the second unit in practice, and they actually beat the first unit in practice. So and he was very good. So, yeah, if he's going to keep playing like this, maybe we keep bringing him off the bench.
It seemed like one of the moments you got most fired up was one of Grant's offensive rebounds late in the game. Just how big was Teach Night in the second half, and kind of how can this game help his confidence moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, that reverse and one dunk and the tip dunk and the tough offensive rebounds, getting fouled, going to the free throw line, making big free throws for us. I mean, it's a 6'11" kid that goes to the line and makes over 90%. He's 8 for 9 tonight. Like, we needed him to play like that, and he needed that for his confidence. He needed to know he could go against a top 10 team in the country, get a double-double. He doesn't have to make threes to impact the game. Like, I'm good with him shooting open threes, and, he's going to make some here and there and help us win a big game with one. Similar to Clowney last year. Clowney didn't shot on under 30% from three, and he made some big ones when it mattered, but he impacted the game a lot of ways. Offensive rebounds, defensive stops, defensive rebounds. I think Grant's starting to figure that out. I was super fired up for him on some of those tough plays he made.
Going off of Nelson, too, I mean, he had the matchup with Janai Broom, and Broom dropped 25 tonight. I guess with his maturity, too, and confidence moving forward, what did you see out of him defensively and the most, too, with the rest of the team on the inside?
I mean, Broom's a monster. I mean, he had 25 and 14. We didn't really have good matchup for him. All of our bigs struggled. I mean, we had 4 guys take turns guarding him between Grant, Nick, Mo, and Jaron. Jaron actually did a halfway decent job. I mean, didn't get too many reps on him, but in the first half particularly, I mean, he was going to work on our guys. So we have to do better. We've struggled guarding bigs here. We've got enough guys with size. They got to get better. But Grant did a great job on Tolu Smith at Mississippi State. We need that kind of effort out of him. It wasn't that way in the first half, but I thought it came a lot better in the second half. I thought his first half to second half splits were much better.
Grant said that Ryland sternly challenged him on the bench during the game. In your course of winning championships over the year, how important is that to the DNA of the team to have the players challenging each other, coaching themselves up on the bench?
The best teams I've ever coached are player coach teams, to be honest with you. I mean, we give them some direction, put them in the right system, but like that stuff, the best teams you have, that stuff comes from the players. So it was great that Ryland stepped up. I mean, basically told Grant, we need you. Like, we need you to play tough. Like you're good enough. Like, we need you. Step it up. He stepped it up. After the game, Ryland kind of raised his hand. Coach, let me say something. He said, look, Grant, way to step it up. After I chat, we've been talking about this. We need some leadership. We need some guys to play so hard every possession that when somebody else isn't playing hard, they don't fit in. And then you challenge them, and they need to fit in with how hard we play. I thought today was a big step in that. And Ryland's been playing pretty hard on defense. He was really locked in today, both sides of the ball.
On building off this moving forward, what's the next step with that leadership? Is it empowering guys like Ryland to speak up more? Like, how do you kind of build off of this so it's not, we need to step up tonight?
Yeah, it's Ryland continuing to do what he did. Guys accepting it when their teammates challenge them. Guy like Sears, who's been in these big games and been in big moments for us, needs to, keep playing. I thought he's been playing pretty hard here lately. He needs to keep playing hard like he's been playing, and then make sure that everybody else is following. And you don't need one leader. You need all of our good teams around here have had a multitude of leaders. So whether it's Ryland, Sears, Nick Pringle's very vocal. He needs to play better. But I thought his attitude on the bench is, we need some guys, those guys that have been here, and then we need some other guys that have played college basketball and done really well to step. I thought Grant, if Grant can be tough every time out, he can start to step up and say some things. And I thought the guys have done a really good job bringing Jaron along. Young, he's supposed to be a senior in high school, and he's coming. We need him. I think the guys are doing a really good job encouraging him, really getting him to play tough. This was his toughest game. He played well tonight.
16 offensive rebounds, 21 second chance points. That competitive toughness, how did it manifest itself in that area of the game, and how impactful was that in the win?
I mean, it was huge. To have a guy like Reitzel lead us in offensive boards at the guard spot with 4. Grant had 3, and Sears went in and got 2. I mean, it's, Wagi in limited minutes had 2. Like, you have to, the way we play, we take a lot of threes. We took 30 tonight. Like, you've got, they're going to have games when you don't shoot it well. So you've got to be able to win the game other ways. And I've told the guys, we had poor shooting games here, non-conference. I went through and read off stats where we've shot it very poorly from 3 and still won big games. You take care of the ball, you get to the free throw line, make free throws, and you win the rebounding battle. So you got to go get second chance points. Now, the turnovers we got to figure out. We're getting better on the offensive glass. We are getting to the line, making free throws at a decent clip, but turnovers are our biggest issue right now. We got to get that figured out here soon.
As far as this Auburn team goes, you'll go down to their place in a few weeks and play them there. How much better are they this year compared to last year's team?
Oh, they're a lot better. I mean, they've got veteran guys that are playing well. Holloway's one of the best. We were fortunate Holloway struggled because he's one of the best guards in the country, in my opinion. So I think they're a lot better team than last year. We'll see a better version of them. If we play like we did tonight, we'll lose at their place. So we're going to be extremely happy, excited we got to win, and we're in first place. We got a lot to work on between now and then. They're a good team. They're going to play better at home. Holloway's going to play better. I mean, they had multiple guys. I mean, Williams is 7 for 10. I mean, he's 70% conference play coming in. He went 0 for 3. So we were fortunate that they didn't shoot it well. They shot it better with the lights off. Maybe they should have requested to keep the lights off. But they once we turned the lights on, they didn't shoot it as well. Broom hit that first one. But they're going to shoot a lot better there. They're going to play. They play hard all the time. But that crowd there is going to really get them amped up. We're going to have to be better at their place than we were tonight for sure. All right, thanks.